I think that it's amplified by folks trying to figure out what's wrong with ratings when it's not about what's wrong with ratings. It's about how the league is presented and the marketing of the league.
Yeah. And let's talk about the style of play. I think a lot of people, the haters, whatever you want to call it, are complaining about the current style of play in the NBA where it feels like a 3 point shooting contest at times. There's too many teams playing the exact same style. Some are complaining about, it's weird because they'll complain about like a lack of physicality. And then at the same time, they'll complain about either too many fouls being called or the game's getting too muddied up. I think one valid criticism I personally is that it seems to be two types of games that are being played or officiated in different ways, where the regular season is officiated wildly different than the playoffs, and that leads to injuries, perhaps things like that. But what do you make of the criticism of the style of play and how the game's being officiated?
I wonder who it is we're focusing on sometimes when we say, for example, too many threes. Are we saying that Steph Curry and James Harden are taking too many threes? Is that a problem, or is it like the 12th guy off the bench on the Charlotte Hornets who's not even on national television that took too many threes on a given night?
I think it's the latter. I think and I do think there is some truth to this, where it's like you can watch five NBA games in a 2 day stretch, and stylistically, every team is doing the same thing. It's like the analytics revolution of no mid range, no, it's either layups or threes, and you see especially the threes where you're seeing guys pass up slightly contested layups, maybe even wide open layups for threes, or you're on a 3-on-1 fast break and two of the three guys are running to the corners instead of trailing the ball or something so they can get the dump off. So I think that's more what people are talking about. People want to see James Harden take 15 threes. They want to see Steph Curry, Dame Lillard, whatever, all these assassins from deep take threes, but that 12th guy on the bench or whatever, insert random NBA player here, I don't think they want to see them jacking up threes.
I agree with you. And some of these guys aren't even on TV that are taking too many threes that some fans are focusing on. I'll give you a perfect example. There was a great game during the 2025 season between the Celtics and the Wolves. Great game. Went down to the last shot. I think the Wolves won the game. And they go on to the next game. I think it's a TNT broadcast. And Reggie Miller's partner says, Reg, there was 63s taken between both teams in that game. What do you think of that? And he goes, don't get me started. Why? What do you mean don't get me started? Just shut up. I'll
Reggie
be
Miller
honest,
of
like
all
you
people, yeah, that's kind of ironic.
yeah. Yeah, like that you will never go, and this trickles down into some of the other like old heads. You will not see an NFL analyst go, there's no these guys are playing football wrong. They don't do that. And football is different for better or worse, but they don't say the way that they're playing football is wrong.
I think what they'll say usually is, this is not how I played football. This play, for example, if there's someone running free across the middle and doesn't get laid out by a 230-pound safety, they'll say, they might comment on the reduced physicality of the game. They might talk about roughing the passer calls, which have gotten super, they've gotten really sensitive with that call, where you even like the body weight thing, if you tackle the quarterback slightly harder than normal, it becomes a penalty. So maybe they'll talk about that. But I think when it comes to the NBA, they're criticizing the players and how they're playing. And on the NFL side, they're criticizing the way the game's being officiated, which I think are two wildly different things.
Right. And if you think about officiating, officiating is really volatile. Some nights they're letting them play, others they're calling touch fouls, which can be really, really aggravating. But if you look at, I don't want to have a numbers conversation, but I remember this year and last year, there was a notable difference. You can tell the league told the officials when you call fouls, call them less, let them play. And you saw playoff basketball creep in like March and April, and the games were good. And the same
Mm-hmm.
goes for this postseason and last postseason. The games were so good. They were letting them play. There wasn't like a foul baiting game. They didn't really let guys get away with that. Like SGA, who's called the foul merchant, and he is, which is fine, was not effective for a lot of these playoffs. He had his games, sure, but he wasn't getting 20 free throws a game. So I think that these are, again, these officiating is always going to be a thing. Football has officiating things, basketball is going to have officiating things, but you cannot go and talk about your product and say, oh, don't tee them up like that. They're taking too many threes. What are you doing?
Yeah, it takes away from the achievement. I mean, shooting threes is hard. It's not an easy thing to do, and to do it at a high level is a hard thing to do. I think there is maybe some truth to the criticism when a team is shooting, I don't know, like 20% from three, 25% from three.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was in the playoffs where the Celtics shot 63s and they only made 10, something crazy like that, where it was like they broke the record for 3-point attempts and like 3-point misses in the same game. So, I mean, maybe there's some
And it
value,
was
some,
stupid. It was
yeah,
stupid, though. They lost, and they lost that game because it was stupid to take that many threes, right? Uh, I do want to say on this note, if you look at this postseason, the three ball did not dictate who won the title. The OKC Thunder did not
good
shoot well
point,
from
great point.
three. Jalen Brunson was like, did whatever he want all over the court. This was not that. This was a showing that all that three pointing stuff was the Steph Curry evolution. It was not everyone is the greatest shooter of all time revolution. So, sure, there's going to be more threes. But if you look at the way the game was played this season, it wasn't about that. It was about execution, getting back in the mid range, playing team basketball. I think we're going to see more of that.
Yeah, and handling the physicality that comes, or the, increased physicality that comes in the playoffs. So, I mean, if you're hitting your threes, sure, but if you're not, then you got to handle all the other stuff.